guys, welcome to Hatchfoot Economics. Hatchfoot, and it's your girl Connie. And also, if you haven't had a chance yet, check out my Laws of Enchantress page. This is probably one of the most, excuse me, there, interesting talks I think we're ever going to have on Hatchfoot. Because I am a believer in this. I didn't know there was proof out there, but this is why I am a loser nerd, because this is what I do. So I think one of the biggest travesties in the Black community is the breakdown of religion. And what I mean by religion is that we have a lot of churches that aren't connected. If you look at the richest and the wealthiest people in the world, they do adhere to a faith. And that faith is uniform, meaning that no matter where you go, it's like the same doctrine being taught. And there's unity in that. There's power in unity. And, I'm Catholic, and no matter where I go, it's going to be the same sermon at the same place at the same time. Catholic churches are uniform, and that gives, a lot of strength in numbers in terms of being able to support each other and stuff like that. But what does that mean? Like, if you don't have religion, does that mean poverty? Like, what does it mean? What does it mean? So we're going to take a look at it because I like to show you facts. So this is a religion of millionaires. So this whole thing's going to talk about faith and the corruption of faith and the lies of faith. Because I know a lot about religion. When I became Catholic, I actually was not religious for a while, and I went to several different faiths. I was just doing research and stuff because I took it very seriously because it took me a year of going to school to become Catholic. You had to do Catholic courses for a year. I think twice a week you had to attend 2-hour courses. So they don't even rush you into the religion. Like a lot of churches, you go and say you want to be a member. By the end of the service, they're trying to make you a member. But that's not how it is in the Catholic Church. So let's just take a look at this. The religion of millionaires. So it says a new study found that more than 2/3 of the world's millionaires are affiliated with religion. Okay, more than 2/3, and with more than half identified as Christians. So obviously there's some type of correlation between religion and faith. Let's see what's going on. The study from the nonpartisan wealth research for New World Wealth found that 13.1 million millionaires in the world, 7.4 or 56.2% identify themselves as Christian when asked about their religion. Fully 6.5% of millionaires identified as Muslim, 3.9% identified as Hindu, and 1.7% identified themselves as Jewish. So I'm going to say it again. Okay, 56% identify themselves as Christians. But what does that mean? Christianity is massive. Okay, so when people talk about Christianity, you got to be very careful who you get your information from. Because not even I could tell you about everything of Christianity. So be careful listening to me too. Reference me, check me, go out there. Um, it's Christianity is massive. It's not like I can sit here and tell you in one sitting what Christianity is about. So let's look. Let's just take a quick look. It says fully 31.7% of millionaires identify themselves as other, which includes other religions or no religion. Of course, the richest countries are also Christian dominant. So country plays a strong role in the results. According to the New World Wealth, 7 of 10 of the wealthiest countries, ranked by numbers of millionaires, are Christian dominated. So there you go. That's more facts there, but that wasn't good enough for me. Because Christianity could mean Lutheran, Protestant, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah Witness, Episcopal, whatever, um, Pentecostal, Catholic, Greek Orthodox, Roman Orthodox. There's just so many. So I found this cool breakdown from the Pew Research Study. Okay, this is from the Pew. Okay, as you know, Pew Research Study is my baby. I like going to Pew Research because you can't get more neutral than that. All right, so it says how income varies among US. So while there's a strong and proven correlation between education and income, it's harder to know whether there's also a link between religion and wealth. What we can say is that members of some religious groups, not to mention atheists and agnostics, on average have a higher household income than others, and those in richest religious groups also tend on average to be better educated. So this is what I wanted y'all to see. All right. So this made me happy to see this because it was an actual breakdown, not just the random Christian thing, which is ridiculous because Christianity has over 30,000 dialects. Like you can't really just you can't just say that. Okay. So wait a minute. It went away. All right. I guess I can't make it too big. All right. Oh, come on. Trying to keep it big for y'all so y'all can see. So here's a scale, and it says household income of the U.S. religious groups, percentage of each religious group with total family income blank per year. So Jewish people, less than 16% of Jewish people, okay, make $30,000 or less. Only 15% of all Jewish people in America make 30 to 50,000. Okay? 24% of Jewish people make from 50,000 to 99,000. And then 100,000, 44% or higher. That's crazy. That is like lottery numbers. Again, uniform of religion matters. I'm pretty sure if Jewish had Jewish Pentecostal and Jewish Lutheran and Jewish Protestant and Jewish this and Jewish that. There's only one type of Jewish. So that helps to actually pull and network everything together. I think that's amazing. They're actually on the top. Let's take a look again. 30,000%. 30,000. I'm bugging. $30,000. Only 16% of Jews make that. 30,000 to 49,000. 30,000 to 49,99,000. 15%. 50,000 to 99,999,000, 24%. 100,000 or more, 44%. That is a staggering number. So for those of you who are like religion this and religion that, that's money. That's pure economics. The next one are Hindus. All right. And Indians get married if you look at them, if you sneeze at them, they get married. Very strong marriage culture there. Only 17% of Indians make $30,000 or less. Only 13% of Indians make $30,000 to $50,000. Only 34% of Indians make 50,000 to 99,000 a year. 36% of Indians or more who are Hindus make $100,000. That is crazy. And you got people telling you religion is shit, is that y'all doing the wrong religion? Or y'all doing religion wrong? Because as you can see, there is a consistency and a fluidity between all these religions, not just Christianity. I haven't even got to Christianity yet. Now we're going to hit Christianity. So now we got Presbyterian churches, USA. 24% of people who are Presbyterian make 30,000. 15% makes 30 to 50,000. Sorry, guys. And 29% make 50 to 99,000. 32% of all Presbyterians in America make $100,000 or more. Guys, y'all not doing religion right. I'm trying to tell y'all there's a correlation. You can't just look at Christianity in the hood. You can't look at the chicken, like I said, the church of 4 chicken wings and fried rice, or the church of 2 piece and a biscuit. Not those churches that don't do charity, that don't network, who aren't international. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm a Christian myself. But I have enough truth in me to tell you not all churches are equal. No churches are perfect. But the facts, sit right there. They even went to atheists. 24% of atheists make $30,000 or less. Okay? Then only 18% of atheists make $30,000 to $49,000. Then 50,000 to 99,000 of atheists make 20% of atheists make about 50 to 99,000, and 30% of atheists make 100,000. All right, so the atheist is there. Agnostic, those are people that kind of believe in God but they're not sure, or they believe in some type of higher being, but they really don't adhere to a specific faith or doctrine. So 22% of them make 30,000. 18% of them make 30 to 50,000. 50 to 99. I mean, these are good numbers. All right. You got Orthodox Christian. 29% of them make 100,000. You got United Church of Christ. Look at these numbers. These numbers are huge. 23% make 50 to 99,000, and 29% of them make 100,000. You got Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. I mean, you can see these numbers. All right, you got Methodists, and then you got I don't know what that is. Presbyterian, and you got Unitarian. You got Lutheran. Then you got Mormons. Then you got Muslims. Okay. Then you got all U.S. adults. You got Catholics. Catholics are probably one of the higher, making 36,000, making 30,000. 19% of all Catholics making 100,000. Then you got nothing in particulars. Do you see what happens as the churches get smaller and smaller? I think the last big one, I'm looking at the 100,000s here. Do you see what's happening as the churches get less and less disciplined? Because Catholics, it depends how you or exercise your faith. We got a lot of people who are Catholic but don't really do anything to be Catholic. So it really matters how you exercise your faith. But look, as the churches get more and more smaller, like you see Jehovah Witness, only 4% of people in Jehovah Witness make 100,000. You got a lot of black people who Jehovah Witness. You got Baptists. Look how big poverty is in the Baptist church. Only 9%. Church of God in Christ. Look how big this is like lower 9%. American Baptist only 9%. These are the numbers for 100,000. Look how low they are. Seventh-day Adventist 15%. Southern Baptist Convention 16%. Baptist churches, which are known to be predominantly black, are among the lower numbers. Now you might say why? And I believe it's because these churches have a much, much, much lower expectancy of marriage, very high rate of out of wedlock marriages in these churches, even for the churchgoers. And disproportionately in these churches, you see most of the members are what? Women. As you go higher and higher, where there's more wealth, you'll see a good, healthy amount of men members and women members. Because it doesn't make sense to have a faith if only the women are going to church by themselves. And then also because of that, it creates a disproportionate doctrine that's suited towards placing women who have men absent in their lives. It's just chaotic. So you see Catholic is 19, which to me is low, but to have 4% of people only making 100,000, 9% of people, 9, 9, 9, 10, 13, 15, and most of these churches are the churches that tend to have a disproportionate amount of African American. So there is a correlation there, and I truly believe it's the breakdown of discipline. Like if you're Jewish, let's go back to the top, you don't really have out of wedlock marriage. All right. So not just about a white and black thing. Jewish are considered some type of ethnic minority. If you say no, Connie, you're wrong. Hindus are typically people that are Indian, Pakistani, Bangladesh. Hindus are of color and they are right below Jewish people in terms of making money. And if you notice, you don't see too many baby mama Hindus. You don't see too many baby daddy Hindus. So there's actually a strong correlation of marriage and faith and the culture of that faith that affects the economics. So you guys can keep shitting on religion, but as you can see, it's not the religion, it's the people in the religion. I hate to break it to you, because as more and more minorities get into the religions, you see these abysmal numbers that reflect how many of them are actually making $100,000. So it's really kind of crazy. So what does it mean? This is my opinion. Now we're going to an opinion piece. We're still facting there. I think in the Black Christian church, the breakdown of the doctrine on how they treat women, how women are honored, how women are supposed to be seen, has been completely distorted. That's why you see those abysmal marriage numbers. That's why you have men that can have 5, 6 baby mamas, still walking around saying I'm a Christian, but they're not doing the core main thing of what it means to be a Christian. So let's take a look at this. Let's go down here. All right. So, what does the Bible actually say about loving your wife? I know this is a big controversial topic in some areas in YouTube where they teach you Christianity is bad, and it's your opinion. And Christianity is not good for women, and it's your opinion. But I don't think that's the actual truth. I think it's the people that are executing the religion to their benefit. You know, it's just really sad. So anyway, it says here, these are how to love your wife according to the Bible. So I just want to go through it because there's so much controversy. And like I said before, religion is just paper and books and words. We are the people that made that come to life. You know, religion is not a living entity. We are the entities that are living that give religion its power, its saying. And you can have Catholicism, you can have Lutheran, Seventh Day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness. Even though they all claim to be religious doctrines, they all execute it differently. So let's take a look. All right. So the first one says, "Love your wife as Christ loved the church." And this is Ephesians 5:25. This means that you should be willing to risk your life to help save your wife. To help or save your wife. Christ's love for the church is without limits. Nothing is held back. He gave his life for the church before we loved him. All right, so before we even loved him, he gave his life. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. His love does not depend on your love for him. His love was unconditional, period. Under God's leadership and help, you're supposed to love your wife as a service, as giving your life to God. All right? Loving your wife is supposed to be your primary ministry as a husband. I just want to stop right here. If your church is not doing it that way, that's your church's fault, not your religion, not God, not Christianity. Like I said, do your research. Pretend it's a nice pair of shoes. Shop around. You have a right to shop around. If you don't want to be Christian, that's great. But it's not fair to put a big fat label on Christianity and religion and saying it's horrible when it's actually not. That's why I'm Catholic. I used to be Baptist. I didn't like it. I became Catholic. I love it. And that's one of the main reasons I love it, because in the Catholic Church, this is something that's well known and well honored. Like I said, open your eyes, taste the rainbow. This is the truth. I'm not making up Ephesians, like I'm reading you what's in the Bible. All right, so what's the next thing? So also before I continue, you got to realize how profound this was over 2,000 years ago. You got to realize people back then did not get married for love. So for Christ or anyone to proclaim this, that Christ said that, was so extreme. You got to remember, love and marriage were foreign concepts during this time. So once you really absorb that, then you start to think, holy cow, this was really profound. You're talking about 2000 BC. Women were property in marriage. So for Christianity to be the first religion to come out in that way and say, love your wife as you are ready to die for her, as Christ died, crucified on the cross, like that's profound. So even if you're not religious, it's very interesting for that type of talk to be happening in 2000 BC. You just kind of think about that for a second. 2000 BC for people to talk about love and marriage. Those concepts were completely foreign. Let's go to the next one. So the next one says, love your wife in the same way that you love your body and your life. This is Ephesians 5:28-33. You care for your body daily. You try to be as well fed and healthy as possible. You quickly take care of any needs and desires that you may have. So, this is what it's saying: love your wife as you love your body. So, you have to remember back then, women were property. So, this was a way to tell men not to hurt their wife unless he's a psycho and hurts his body, because technically you're not supposed to do anything to your wife that you would not do to yourself. So this is a very deep statement. And again, to tell a man 2000 BC, when Christ was alive, to love your wife the same way you love your body and your life, this is wife worshiping. This is very deep. You have to understand, this is 2000 BC. You could beat your wife, kick your wife, you could do whatever you want. Nobody blink an eye. Your wife was property, your wife was sold. For someone to come out and say, wait, love your wife in the same way you love your body and your life, that is the truth. That is profound. Even today, in the year 2018, that's still profound. Just imagine the impact this had in ancient times. Just imagine that. Just think about that for a second. All right? So it's in the Bible. In the same way, you husbands must live with your wives with the proper understanding that they are the weaker sex. Treat them with respect because they also they also will receive together with you God's gift of life. All right? So, again, I'm going to keep stressing it. This is Peter 3:7. And the Bible says, be considerate with your life with your wife, with respect. The Bible says, if we neglect this command, our prayers will be hindered. Do you understand? There was no religion in the world that told men, if you neglect your wife, your prayers will be hindered. This is why it's important to truly know the facts. Religion has always been powerful, and people will corrupt it, people will scapegoat it, people will take what they really want to do and paint it with religion. This is the truth. Whether you're Christian or not, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, I don't care. I'm just bringing you what's in the actual Bible. And it's a shame that specific churches and specific neighborhoods, wherever they may be, have distorted this, because this is in the Bible so many times. And if you notice, when the Bible speaks about a subject more than once, more than twice, more than three times, it's big. This is not just one phrase that we're beating a dead horse with. This is truth. And don't let anyone take this truth from you. It says, be considerate as you live with your wife. The Bible says if we neglect this command, our prayers will be hindered. To be considerate means to quit any irritating habits. That's crazy. Show your love to her and always be considerate of her needs. So this is actually really incredible. So the next one is, do not be harsh with your wife. This is Colossians 3:19. Women are a lot more sensitive than men. So you realize that harsh words, angry looks, irritated tones of voice, and impatience will deeply affect your wife. So husbands, love your wives, do not be harsh with them. Okay? It is it is amazing. I don't care what anyone has to say. That was very huge back then, because what men can talk to their wife any way they want. That was the power and probably one of the best perks of being a husband. Your wife's basically a slave to you. You don't have to acknowledge, respect her. But for this to come out in 2000 BC from predominantly men, it truly makes me believe in the fact that this had to come from God. Remember, the disciples were all men, no women, walking around in ancient times. Where did they get this from? No one was doing this. And you truly have to think about the time and the age. No one was loving their wife or respecting their wife or saying, if you don't honor your wife, your prayers won't be answered. I truly believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that came from God, because that is what God wants. You don't have to have that belief. But I would like someone to try to explain to me how in 2000 BC, a bunch of 12 men rolling mad deep came up with these really loving things on how to treat women. This is like, this can still go for 2018. This is profound. Let's continue. I hope you're intrigued as I am. All right. This is perhaps the one that makes you, it'll change you into a believer. It's really going to make you look back at Christianity if you walked away from it. The husband's body does not belong to him alone, but also his wife. Wow. Guys, I'm not being dramatic. 2000 BC? To say that the man's body belongs to the wife? What? Even saying that now in 2018, that's going to cause drama. You got to understand, this is ancient BC. This is crazy. All right? Please your wife physically. Don't deprive her of what she needs. You see, sexual pleasure is something that is given, not forced or taken. What? Look at here. A man should fulfill his duty as a husband, and a woman should fulfill her duty as a wife, and each should satisfy the other needs. A wife is not the master of her own body, but her husband is, in the same way a husband is not the master of his own body. So it's telling you, in order for you to get that submission, the guy can't have control. He has to surrender control to God. And that's where you're going to get all this love thing, because back then this was not happening. This is really interesting, and it's crazy how you have so many women, and especially black women, in Christian religions, and they feel abused, and they feel not loved, you're breaking a covenant with God. That's not what God ordered at all. Okay? So here's more. Rejoice in your wife all your life. Let her body satisfy you. Be captivated with her. God's even telling you how to spit game. Proverbs 5:18-19. No man shall look at other women or pictures of other women when you have a wife in whom he can gaze daily. The Bible's telling you to adore the wife. A husband should be fully satisfied with his wife's body, no matter what the size or shape. If a man will try and ask God to help him, he will go to truly find his wife's body to be the most attractive in the world. So this is telling you to be attracted to your wife, to love your wife. Yeah, so it says, so be happy with your wife and find joy with the girl you married, pretty and graceful as a deer. Let her charms keep you happy. Let her surround you with love. You have to understand that this was not something common. I don't think people, when they read this, understand what marriage was like in 2000 BC. It was not about love, cherishing, charming, nothing like that. You're talking about a time when people were still collecting wives and they were just marrying multiple wives. This was profound, this was new, and no one can actually trace where this thing came from beyond the Bible, because no one was getting married like this. No one was talking about loving and cherishing and loving the wife as your own body and loving the wife until you're ready to die for her. I mean, if you don't quite understand, it's too that watch those ancient Ben Hur movies and watch the Ten Commandment movies. Guys don't really care about if the girl love. Love is a concept that was thought to be feminine, you know. So we're gonna go on right here. Women may be addressed in simple clothing, with a quiet and serious air, not vanity about her hair, and gold or jewels or expensive things. Encourage your wife to be modest in public and erotic in private with you. So, again, the Bible's kicking more game. It says 1 Timothy 2-9. All right, so it says, yeah, like you should actually be enjoying your wife and having her be modest, but then erotic with you. That's kind of crazy. This is like Oprah 101 back in 2000 BC. And it actually tells men, do not be captivated by other women. Guys, again, I know I sound like a broken record. This is 2000 BC. And he's saying this. He's saying this. And if you're in any type of Christian faith and they don't adhere to this, then you might want to look around, because this is the truth of the Christian faith. Again, it's not one paragraph that we're beating with a dead horse. This is several things. There's more things in the Bible that commands a man how to treat his wife than vice versa, than a wife how to treat the husband. And it's very clear, very profound and very provocative, especially for that time period. So it says here, do not be captivated by other women. Proverbs 5:20. All right? So it's basically telling you finding other women attractive and looking at them will degrade your view of your own wife, because you'll start to compare them with her. You'll be less satisfied with her and she'll feel less special to you. So it's crazy that the Bible is saying that in a male dominated world, in a male dominated clergy, all the disciples, all the apostles, you know what I'm going to say, all men. So you really have to think, where did this come from? Why would it come? Why the change? Why? It's truly a beautiful mystery, okay? Call your wife blessed and praise her. That's Proverbs 3:21-29. Tell her that she is special and that she is greater than any woman on earth. So, it's saying call your wife blessed. Okay? And it says right here, her children should show appreciation and her husband praises her. He says, many women are good wives, but you are the best of them all. So it's kind of crazy when someone is a Christian and talks about how a religion allows them to be abused or not loved or taken care of. And what you have to understand is that sometimes people do bad things and they know religion is powerful and they're purposely manipulated to make things come out the way they want it to come out, which is not right. It's obviously not right. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me see now. Tell your wife how captivated you are with her body. Song of Solomon 4-7, 7, 1-8. So it's crazy. It's telling you that how to admire your wife, admire her body. You know, this is stuff that was not happening back then. That's just it's just so advanced. It boggles the mind. Probably you're hearing it now. You're like, it's not a big deal. Yeah, but in 2000 BC, it was a pretty big deal. So it says, honor your wife, honor your marriage, keep it pure by remaining true to your wife in every way. And Jesus says that lustful looks are adultery. So anyone that says that these faiths in religion allows men to cheat, allows men to disrespect women, allows men to do what they want, allows men to have all the women, it's just not true. It's the people that are interpreting the religion, that are relying on religion to get to do what they really want. But as you can see, there's many, many phrases in explicit detail that are profound, that are provocative, that are ahead of their time, telling you explicitly, comparing the love of a wife to Christ dying for the church, comparing the care of a wife to how you would care for your own body. And now we have honoring your marriage and keeping it pure by remaining true to your wife in every way. That's crazy. And then you have Luke 12:34. Do not treasure such lust in any area of life. Deny access to your heart. Keep your marriage pure by training your eyes and heart and true to be to your wife. Wow. I'm just telling you, it's there. But the problem is you have a lot of men who are manipulative. They'll skip these things in the Bible, and all you hear is what? All you hear is what? Be submissive. You got to be submissive, submissive, submissive. But they don't tell you they got to be submissive to God. They don't tell you they're supposed to be ready to die for their wife. They don't tell you that. So I guess it's convenient for them. Be thankful for your wife and realize the favor you have received from God. So they basically believe that your wife is a favor from God. This is huge. This is huge. She's a prize from God. That's what it says here. And that was Proverbs 18-22. You know, be one flesh with your wife in every way. Enjoy life with her as if you're inseparable from her. Long to be with her like you did when you first met. Rush home to see her from work. Think about her during the day. Call her every day. Text as much as you can. Learn as a couple to agree on everything and be like minded. Enjoy intimacy and sex often. You should have sex as often as necessary to meet the desires of whichever spouse has the stronger sex drive and as schedules and health permits. This is some real shit here. This is it's telling you, you know, it's just it's two people becoming one, and that's a powerful statement back then because men and women were not seen as equal. So when you say something like, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and unite with his wife, and the two will become one," and so they are no longer two, but one. Man must not separate what God has joined. And that's a powerful statement because if you are part of someone, if you are truly the other half of another soul, like you can't hurt that person. You can't neglect that person because you hurt me, like Beyonce say, you hurt yourself. So this is one thing I wanted to reveal. Like, I truly believe the Christians who are living like this, they're the ones getting married. They're the ones having high social economics. They're the ones having 20% or higher in the 100,000 or more bracket. They're the ones having long lasting marriages because these are the true principles of Christianity. Not the church of 4 chicken wings and pork fried rice. Not the church of 2 piece and a biscuit. Not the churches where the pastor didn't go to theology school. Not the churches where the pastors keep talking about submission and the guys can beat your ass and they tell you to stay. Treating your wife bad. Just think about the Bible for a second for my Bible nerds. Do y'all remember Moses? Remember Moses? And what happened to Moses? Moses did everything that God wanted, except for what? When he was tapping that rock and he was supposed to let water out the stone, he said, I did it, instead of saying God did it. And the simple fact that he didn't say what God did, even though it's God's will, God smited him and brought him to the promised land, but he never was able to go into it. That was part of his punishment. Simply because he didn't say that it was God, even though it was clearly God, the fact that he took credit for it and he didn't hold out the stick to tap out the water out of the rock. It's a whole story when he was leading the people from Egypt. Just the simple fact that he didn't do what God told him to do got him barred from a land that he was bringing people to for years. So if God says in the Bible that if you don't treat your wife right, it's going to hinder your prayers, what do you think the penalty is for beating your wife? If God says, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave up his life for her, what do you think God's going to do if you take the life of your wife? He's comparing the love of the wife to his son dying and getting crucified. We all know what happened to Christ for he died for his gospel. What do you think God's going to say if God says, love your wife as you love your own body, and you don't? You see her as separate and you treat her bad because of it. These are all things that if you go to a proper Christian church, you go to a proper Christian place with a uniform doctrine, Episcopalian or Episcopal, whatever you want to call that crap, or Lutheran, excuse me, or any church, that's why you shop around. People interpret things differently. And that's why you listen to people that gives you the facts, gives you the receipts. As a Catholic, we honor the role of wife and mother. As a Catholic, we take wedding of Cana classes. As a Catholic, men are taught these things to love their wife, adore their wife. It's not, we're making it up, it's in the Bible. But if you're going to a church and you've never heard these things before, you might want to think about some things at night. If you're going to a church and you're Christian and this is the first time you've heard these things, I don't know, son. I don't know. So anyway, this is Connie out. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this segment on socioeconomics and religion and the misrepresentation of the Christian church and economics. Thanks.